right, how's it going, everyone? Welcome back to Personal Analytics Live, discussing all things personal analytics, self improvement, using data to improve. Here to answer questions. I've got a list of questions that I can answer from Instagram, but also happy to jump in and discuss anything live here. How's everybody doing? Right, let me see. Anyone is in the chat? I don't see anyone in the chat just yet. I'll give it a couple minutes. Just gonna do a quick sound check. Great. All right, first question I've got here is, pull up my list. How do you know when you're on the right path? This is a great question I wanted to talk about because it relates directly to personal analytics. So, how do you know if you're on the right path with your self-improvement? How do you know if you're chasing the right thing? And there's a metaphysical answer, and then there's also like a procedural answer. And the procedural answer is shortly, in basic form, personal analytics is the way you know procedurally if you're moving the right path. But the more metaphysical answer is, what type of energy are you getting doing the things that you're doing? What type of feeling are you getting? What type of, are you able to sleep better? Are you feeling less stress? Those are all signs that you're moving towards something that's valuable. And people talk about setting goals and not setting a goal that's too big or too small or anything like that. And those things are all really, really important. So you want to make sure that your sort of surrounding feelings, your surrounding, psychology, physiology, whatever you want to call it, is feeling good, and that's a sign that you're on the right path. It's a sign that you're working on something that's big enough to challenge you, but not so big that you're paralyzed and you don't know what to do. So that's the feeling side of it. The procedural side is, once you know that you're moving in the right direction, you know you're on the right path. How do you know if you're actually going down that path? And that's where your own data comes in. That's where tracking comes in. I've heard a lot of people talk about a tracking piece of the metaphysical side, which I think is a great idea. Like, track how you're feeling, track your mood, pay attention to what is your mood each day over a few month period while you're working on different things. That can be a great sign that you're working on something great. You have the data to back it up, and then you can see, okay, I was working on this project, my happiness levels were at an 8 out of 10, and then when I moved to something else, it was at a 5 out of 10. More of the first thing, less of the second thing, and then you can start to prioritize. So the answer is, how are you feeling? Do you feel like you're on the right path? Is everything in your life sort of starting to align around that path? And then, to make sure you're actually going down the path, what are you tracking? What metrics are you using? What progress are you making? Measurable progress. So that was a great question. Figured I would start off with that. Next question I had here was, stalled making progress in the gym. What tips or tricks? So it's a complicated answer, and you're probably better off asking a personal trainer. But from a data perspective, tracking things for a long time can help show you what you need. You don't need any type of advanced model. You don't need some type of statistical forecast to show what your weak spots are. What you need to do is you need to track for 6 months, and you need to see, okay, these specific lifts are stalling. What's my volume like? Has my volume increased? Maybe you need to take a deload week so that you can kind of reset your central nervous system and your muscles, and then you can push again and start tracking. And maybe if you can't even get 1 rep more each session, maybe get a half rep more. But the only way you'll know that is if you're really tracking. Now, assuming you are tracking, one thing that you can do is you can do a pretty basic regression. You could do like a multiple regression also, but you can do a pretty basic regression just using Excel, and it could show you if your goal is body fat percentage or lift on. I'm going to assume it's like certain amount of weight for a lift. Once you have that goal, you can then start to track what periods are you dipping, and what periods are you moving the most quickly, and regression will pull out and highlight for you like what day or what month, whatever unit you want to use. Like this day, these 3 days, these are the ones that have the highest prediction that I will hit my goal of 225 on the bench press. So when you have that basic regression, then you can start to go backwards and say, okay, during those days, what was happening? Like they were all Saturdays, so maybe I was getting really great sleep, or like they were all Thursdays, and I usually drink on the weekends. So like by the time the alcohol's out of my system on Thursday, that's when I can really perform well in the gym. It'll help you highlight what is happening on those days. Like those are days that I usually eat a little bit more. Those are days that I see my mom and I have a great, I'm in a great mood and I really want to push hard. You can start to measure what things are causing the increase in your performance in the gym. So that's down the line. Once you have 6 months to a year of data, once you're tracking everything, once you know exactly what you're doing, and you're using a logbook or you're using a fitness app to see to track your lifts, and you're tracking your calories and you're tracking your sleep. Once you're doing all that, there are some advanced things you can do to help you really highlight. But again, assuming most people, myself included, struggle with tracking, struggle with the basics of like, I did 20 reps and then I did 19 reps and then I did 20 reps, and the 19 rep week I was on vacation and I was in a hotel gym. It's like, well, there you go. You're not in your normal environment. You're maybe not eating the best, and that gives you a clue as to why am I stalled. Well, make sure you don't go on vacation for a few weeks. Take a deload week. Make sure you're doing all the right things. Make sure you're eating clean, doing the things that you know push the needle forward. That was the last question I had come through via Instagram, so I'm just going to give it a minute and see if anybody is going to come through here. Oh, seeing a heart come through. Thank you for that. I don't see any other questions. I think I'm going to cut it here. These will start to extend a little bit longer as I get the technical piece more figured out. But again, just wanted to have a consistent time and place where I can answer any questions that come through during the week, and also deal with anybody who wants to interact live and has a question they want to have live. So I will cut the stream here, and I will see you guys next week.